Hey, what's up, guys? No trade today on MNQ or on MES for me.
The market is closed.
Market's closed. Awesome. And that is simply because price action was not a plus. We did have our liquidity grab, we did have our established trend. We did not take an entry though because price was not a plus. Now, I just want to remind you of something before we get into the charts, okay? Um, Obviously, we are the retail traders, right? Which means the odds are already stacked against us. We don't have insider information, we don't move the market. Our edge is in having a good system, having discipline, having risk management, and also being very selective with which trades you take that fall into your criteria. What do I mean? What I mean is, for example, today there was a setup that had my liquidity grab, it had the established trend, but we didn't take an entry model simply because price was not a plus. Just because you have step 1 and 2 with this system doesn't mean you execute step 3. It just means that step 1 and step 2 are there, they're checked off, and if price is a plus, then yes, definitely we take an entry if we find one. So before getting deeper into that, I want to talk about a couple of the traders that I know are good and myself with consistency. So the thing is, consistency for me came when I was being very selective. And I know that these other guys, specifically a couple guys, they're not finding much better setups than us, guys. Like this system that we trade, they're not finding a lot of better ones. What they are doing though is they're avoiding a lot of the bad ones. They're able to recognize bad price action and stay away from it. And that helps the equity curve or your accounts or the speed to which you get, whether funded or a payout, that helps you just as much as taking the A plus setups. Let me repeat that. Avoiding the bad ones helps you just as much as taking the really good ones. Because when you avoid a loss, that's drawdown you're not dealing with. That's better for your psychology. That's better for your state of mind going into the next session or the next trade. So it is very important to be very selective and strict with, is price A plus after criteria is met, or sorry, before criteria is met, and after, is price A plus? If it's a yes, don't hesitate, take your entry, manage your risk. But if you're hesitating on whether it's A plus, just skip out on it. Today I skipped out on a trade, and actually on ES, the trade I would have taken based off criteria would have been a loss, but it did meet my criteria. Why did I skip the trade? Well, simply because price was not a plus, and I also want to show you what happened at confirmation. Okay, so let me get into the confirmation. Let's just place this for technical reasons. I'm going to talk about that now. First things first, step 1, liquidity grab. We had that right here at 9:58. Okay, we did have chop all the way through this like 30 minutes or so, maybe like 20, and a lot of wick heavy price action. So this is one sign that price is not a plus. I'm not a fan of this. Okay, you go to NQ, during that time you see the same exact price action. Okay, same exact thing. What we need is directional price like that or like that. You see what I'm saying? This is directional. Buyers are in control. This is directional. Sellers are in control. This right here, although it looks like a downtrend with lower highs and lower lows, there is so much exchange between buyers and sellers here in the middle that they're creating wicks. There is no fast direction. This is not directional, right? This is directional. This is directional. So the fact that we had really bad price upon open, I was already considering maybe we don't trade. I was waiting for clear direction. Thankfully, we got this nice clean leg and I considered trading. But let's talk about confirmation over here with ES. The reason I was trading ES is because ES was the heavier instrument during the downtrend. ES was beating NQ. It was in front of it during this downtrend. Now, this was confirmation at 10:25, but if you go to NQ at 10:25, look at, we are tagging London low, which means we can see a reversal or we can see a flush through, but we basically have to wait. We're not going to trade ES because NQ is grabbing a significant level and we either need confirmation that it's going to flush or confirmation that it's going to reverse. In today's example, it reversed. And because these instruments are correlated, this reversal, it pushes ES to do the same, very similar price direction. So this would have been a loss had we taken our model. Now remember, we had liquidity grab, check. Established trend, short term, check. Entry model appeared, check. But we didn't take it because NQ was taking London low at the same time of confirmation, and that helped us avoid a fast loss. So today, thankfully, we didn't take a loss. That helps the equity curve. That helps my psychology. It makes me feel good about being very picky with my setups, looking for only A plus. And this is what I want to emphasize here, guys, is that trading, taking it slow can be very, very beneficial. Looking for your criteria and A plus price, very beneficial. We have the market next session, we have it tomorrow, we have it next week and next month. There's time, there's unlimited opportunities, and because we're trading simply a system that repeats itself over and over, you can expect for it to come again. You just need to be patient for it. I know a couple guys I've been talking with lately that they have a lot of patience, and that's helped their trading more than even recognizing the system that good, because they're just willing to wait long enough to where it looks good enough. And I like to talk to a lot of other traders because I get a different perspective on things, but I also get to see people's strengths and weaknesses and what makes them strong. Some guys are great traders because they have a lot of patience, even if their system isn't great. Some guys don't have the perfect system, but their discipline is so good with risk management that they're still making it by. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a good system and you have good patience and discipline to repeat it, and the discipline to wait for an A plus setup where price is good, not like today, I mean, guys, over time, your edge will play out. So I'm going to leave it on that note just to remind you that taking it slow is very beneficial. That just because the criteria is met doesn't mean you should enter if price is not A plus. And with that said, you guys have a great day and peace out.